Hello, hello, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel. We're, at the bar. I think I made a decision. I don't know how I feel about it. When you turn, you are greeted with a new sight. A rebuilt lounge, an afternoon sun outside, and an entirely different, Asterion. What? Oh. Okay. He buff now. Okay.
But it's not a dream. We are here. I just want to get back to my life. My hotel, my guests, voices bouncing down the hallway. The hallways, food and drink for all, listening to their stories well into the night. At times, I would sneak out during the night. While Master Jean slept outside, I'd meet up with a friend, a mathematician from a new world.
Oh, mathematician. Is that card still limited? Is mathematician back at 3 yet? I remember I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh when it was still at 1. And I was really sad because I really liked playing the card in like Crystron's. Because you gotta mill the purple boy so that you can search the yellow boy, and that just starts all your combos, right? So I always liked playing like 3 copies of Mathematician and 3 copies of Scrap Recycler. Recycler is better because like it is a machine, machine type card. So it works with Crystron's a bit better than Mathematician. But at the very least, Mathematician is a level 3. So you still have that really cool play where like you do the yellow boy, the dragon, level 5. You do that, you call the green turtle, you pop the green turtle, summon Citron, and then during your opponent's turn, you use Citron synchro with the turtle to make Quandax, and then with Quandax being a level 4, you have the level 3 Mathematician or Scrap Recycler on board, and then you can just like Black Rose your opponent on their turn, and that's just always fun. Like the feeling of like going into Black Rose during the opponent's turn is just so fucking funny. But it's just not good enough today, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I really like Crystron's. That was such a fun deck to play. And now it's like useless because like everyone can board wipe all the time, and it's like, ugh, is what it is. That, and it just dies to Imperm, and like everyone is running Imperm, Ash Blossom, Veiler. It's just like you're running, like everyone's running play sets of all of those cards, and it's like, well, you're never getting that normal summon off. Like your Mathematician is going to eat that effect Veiler. Like it's gonna suck. I'm sorry, guys. And we talked on and on about Infinity.
And we talked on and on about Infinity. And the hotel's architecture. We'd bring wine and get way too drunk and rowdy. The kitchen staff joined us, and later the nighttime receptionists. We'd hang out by the kitchen back door, outside with the radio blaring from inside. We'd listen to French songs all night long. I'd summon cigarettes for them. I didn't smoke myself, but I'd return reeking of tobacco. I'd always have to bathe before Master woke up. And in turn, they'd ask Master Jean to put me in their cruise, and I'd just not do much, just enjoy their company. Spending a day with friends, talking, laughing, not a care in the world. It was life. I woke up every day knowing my existence had meaning. I had purpose. It was all that I had, and that fiend took it away from me. It was like a dream. It was as if all my past had never happened, and I could live a fantasy of doing something good. Each and every day was a marvel. It was it was good and kept me from the nightmares. It didn't matter if the master treated me well or not, because they were not my life. They were not my life. I had friends. I had a reason to be. I wasn't the Minotaur from Crete, or some tortured prisoner. I was Asterion. That's all. And chances were they didn't know what got me put here in the first place. But the dreams, but the dream had come to an end. It just had to. I died once in Crete, and again when Clement kicked out my guests. All my other deaths, tortured by masters from centuries ago, were small compared to those. It isn't fair. I am a monster. I know my crimes, but what did my guests do? Nothing to deserve being kicked out of their home. We had veterans recovering from shell shock, soldiers still healing from their wounds, refugees from the front. We built a purpose for this place, no thanks to the gods, and that selfish fiend destroyed it. I am sorry. I forget my place when I drink, Master. This won't happen again. It was awfully, out of place.
It's fine. Though, I gave you permission to speak freely with me, didn't I? And I meant it. If you were bothering me, I'd have told you to stop already. So you can relax. I suppose I want to learn more about what you went through.
I can only assume time has changed. You are not like the other masters. I'd have been put into my place for this insolence by now. I keep thinking this will all end at any moment now, and that I'll wake up back in that room.
Asterion's gaze wanders, and it seems that only now he realizes the vast change in the lounge. The hotel is alive again. But it's not a dream. You'll see. It may take a while for you to believe me, but it's true. And I meant what I said. I want to be a good master of the hotel, and you. Asterion's eye shifts away, then back to you. The Minotaur bites his lip. The smallest sight escapes his lips, followed by him closing his eye. The side of his face wrinkles. He is about to say something. His face goes cold in a nearly professional solemnity. Sure, but he stops himself again. One last time, he looks at you.
I am sure that master will.
His lip trembles for a moment before a smile cracks his face. His voice comes out twisted. The curve of his smile gives his words a tinge of warmth, but his words came out shaken. His voice cracks, and the Minotaur emanates slowly. What? Yeah, cool. Sure. What is this? Okay. Let's Google and go to what was the word I was looking at? Okay, Ciate. Sure.
Enunciate. Enunciate.
Okay, say or pronounce clearly. Well, I can't do that. Oh no. Oh, okay. I don't want to see a single comment. not a one. You all here? Okay. Enunciate slowly. There is also an undercurrent of anxiety as his eye shifts to and fro.
I am glad that, of all the people there are, you are here, Master Mr. Drone.
This is good. This is a best decision I've ever fucking made. He looks down, then back at you. Something seems to flash in front of his eyes. Oh, it does say eyes this time, which takes away his attention. He sinks in thought. And it is as if he is entertaining an idea. Whatever it is that takes his mind seems hopeful. He bites his lip in want, and continues to lose himself in wanting to believe. The smile conquers his face first, and spreads out to his whole body. This time his voice comes out firmer amidst his smile.
Then I repeat my vows. If you are set on caring for this hotel and its guests, and fulfilling its man-made mission, then I will serve you out of my own will. It will be a pleasure to serve you, Master Mr. Josh. There is much about which I would enjoy talking with you. Could I perhaps persuade you to enjoy a drink?
Of course. I am known as a heavy drinker, you know. This just is a thing. You nod and tell Asterion about your favorite drinks. The details of what you say seem to wash over Asterion. He doesn't nod or react as you describe the drink. Instead, his face is taken by a languid. Google is getting a workout today, as is every day. Languid. There you are.
Languid.
Get languid, okay. So I did say that right. Of a person, manner, or a gesture, displaying or having a disinclination for physical exertion or effort, slow and relaxed. Weak or faint from illness or fatigue, probably not that one. So probably the first definition, the slow and relaxed. Languid, a languid joy. Asterion goes behind the new lounge's counter. His hands caress the wood, feeling it soothe, almost sensual texture. He nods without looking at you.
Now I can assure you, I'll make something quite extraordinary,
he says while caressing his beloved hotel. The Minotaur looks at the bottle on the wall. The bottles on the wall, you don't recognize any of the labels, even if you can guess their contents. It would seem these are all in-house products. Asterion, however, seems at home. His gaze wanders for only a moment before it gains a knowledgeable tinge. He selects the necessary bottles and sets out to make your drink. He starts by washing a cup. It already shone when the Minotaur picked it up from the counter, as if it had just been polished for its first use, but he insists on doing it. The water is on, and there is even a fresh bar of soap near the sink. It's as if the entire place had just been tidied up by a disciplined cleaning crew. The Minotaur holds on to his smile, eyes half closed as he runs his fingers on the glassware and all the equipment he will use. He takes his sweet time becoming acquainted with the new environment, then pouring your drink. At times, he shows a bit of clumsiness, no doubt a consequence of downing an entire bottle of wine. Asterion gingerly slides the cup to you on top of a napkin. He finally looks back to your eyes, acknowledging your existence. His voice comes out with the slightest inflection of a smile.
I am not quite there yet. I will get better soon. You just need more practice to polish up, back to my old self. I rarely even manage the lounge. I'm acquainted with it, of course, but there were always better bartenders around. But I enjoyed it. So soothing.
I know this word. I do. I swear. That's why I'm not Googling it. I can assure you. I know this word. I just...
Precision.
Precision. Okay. Yeah, I know that word. The quality, condition, or fact of being exact and accurate. Marked by or adapted for accuracy and exactness. Okay.
That goes with mixing drinks.
Asterion lays his forearm on the counter and supports his weight on it, his tail swishing lazily behind him.
I wasn't even the best cook, either. I do well enough to please the master. You will see. But working in the kitchen requires agility. I could spend 10 minutes chopping the single tomato, making sure all the pieces were the same size. Master Jean had me do exactly that a few times. Cooking is a very intimate thing, Master. Back when Master Jean was alive, my shifts helping the kitchen staff would amount to at most standing in a corner, chopping a few onions per hour.
Ew.
Working with my hands is very relaxing, even if I'm not terribly dexterous. It may surprise you, but I only learned to cook. How to measure ingredients, read recipes, season food, just a few centuries ago. No one taught me how back in Crete. But when I was in the labyrinth, I didn't have much to cook with. Father would send me food shipments. No matter. It is improper of me to unload something like that on you. On anyone, let alone Master. Happier subjects abound.
The Minotaur turned back and picks out a bottle of wine. It is different from the previous bottle you found. It has a minimalistic label and a more modern shape. Asterion gave you a quick, pensive glance before opening the bottle and taking a long swig from it. What do you talk about next? Oh, no. Why are there so many options? What do you do for fun? What was your life on Crete? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite memory? What do you do for fun? So I'm curious, before Master Clement came along, what did you do for fun here?
For fun? I suppose I had a number of leisure activities over the ages, ever since the hotel was built at least. I didn't always have the means, but I've been an avid reader for a while. Mind you, I came from a time long before the printing press. I learned to read the Cretan language from my brother by writing and reading letters in the sand. There was no paper during those times, and stories were recited from memory. Even today, the hotel can't manifest books. We depend on receiving shipments from the outside world. But when the master saw fit to gift me some, I always enjoyed reading material. Poetry, mainly, but how can I put it? I am curious about how the world outside is doing. I can never see it for myself, but when I read the stories, I can imagine. I often wondered how different reality is from what I imagined, and how much it has changed. Master Jean insisted I read The Hunchback of Notre Dame. He even showed me a few drawings of the cathedral, which he drew himself from memory. But I do wonder, what must it feel like to be there? How haunting must it be? I've never been in church. I died long before Christ. But the guests have told me all about them. Stained glass windows, tall, mighty pillars, the arches, one's voice echoes all the way to the entrance, and the wooden benches. I wonder what Notre Dame de Paris must look like today. What it must feel like to walk alone through it, seeing all the statues of apostles.
You remember a few details of Notre Dame de Paris from your art studies. Oh. Ha, okay. I do remember a little bit. I don't remember anything fancy about the Notre Dame itself. But I do remember learning about it in like art history and like regular history class. I was never big on architecture. You can tell because I just straight up don't like drawing backgrounds. Because I just don't like designing. I don't like building design. Like for myself. Like I really respect it. And I think that's such an interesting field. I do prefer more. I prefer a more like hard-edged, like deco aesthetic, if you know what I mean. Like, I always kind of liked that. Yes, it must be quite the atmosphere. The cathedral has a lot of reverb, like old Greek amphitheaters did. If you speak up, you'll hear it for the next 4 seconds. I'm sure it's haunting if you are hearing it live, but in a recording, it's just an echo. It meant that the music composer made for that space was simple and floaty, and it took a long time to change gears. I guess ancient music was like that too. Did full chords sound weird to you when you first heard them? I assume the music you grew up with was more monophonic.
Why, yes. I spent quite a while listening to songs, and when I did get reacquainted with music, it all sounded very alien to me.
If Master Jean was big on the cathedral, I can think of some songs I could show you. They are between monophony and polyphony. Would you like that? It's not the same as being in the Notre Dame de Paris, but you might enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to, Master.
I'll try to remember to get you more books, too, since you're such an avid reader.
I would greatly appreciate that. As well, books are my escape, I suppose, from this reality. Sometimes I even dream about what I was reading. That was a mercy like no other. There are few things better than a good book. Although, that hardly counts as my main pastime, since books have always been so scarce. My lyre has been my dear friend for centuries now. Master can guess that I must be awfully rusty after all those years locked up. Still, as soon as I've brushed up on my skills and tuned it, it would be a pleasure to play for you, my master. As I said, I also enjoyed spending time with my guests. Who doesn't like being around friends? But I suppose for me it's different. It makes me feel normal as a Minotaur can be, which isn't much. I didn't always tell them about my past. The master is entitled to know, of course, and a few of them were informed, but only those I chose. More often than not, I didn't answer to them. I didn't want them to know. It only got in the way. It was already difficult enough making friends, and it opened a series of questions I'd rather not answer every day.
Asterion bites his lip and sighs.
There is one thing I greatly enjoy, but it hardly counts as a leisure activity, and I wouldn't want to bother Master by rambling on.
I want to know. Go on, what was it?
Well, if the Master truly wishes to know. A few masters who inherited the hotel had children of their own. More often than not, they were guests themselves before acquiring the deed, so they knew me well enough. I helped with raising the children. They were a joy, each and every one of them. Even the unruly ones, I might add. It usually took a while for them to warm up to me. I know I can be scary even for an adult, let alone a child. I can only imagine what must have gone through your mind when you saw me in the cold room. I suppose I should be thankful you did not abandon me right then and there. Anyway, the younger ones, if they happened to arrive at the hotel early enough, they were quicker to get used to me. Some would even say I was cute. They thought having a Minotaur friend was fun, playing with my horns, petting me. I'd even give them rides on my back. I was a fun babysitter, you could say. A handful of them even grew up to become masters themselves, inheriting the deed from their parents. Now that was a joy, serving the child I helped raise. I was very proud of them, and who they became. The hotel was had a special significance to them. It was a home like no other could ever be. The hotel attracts those who are lost. Many of those children had no place to return to. Some had lost their countries entirely. That was a long time ago. I wonder if any of their descendants will live. Life exists, only for a short while. I once knew a god. He told me that a human's lifespan is like a blink of an eye to them. We're akin to pets. Father used to tell me not to grow attached to dogs, for they live short lives. That is how they see mortals. It's not the same for me. I may have died already, but I experienced time like any other person would.
Yeah, okay.
Indeed, life extends only for a short while, but it's long enough to be enjoyed. Better not think too much about those matters. What else? I enjoy exercise. I wasn't much of a fighter at heart, but I was trained for it. I was taught to always remain sharp. Speaking frankly, I cannot wait to have some exercise. Not tonight, perhaps. It's still too soon, but the day will come. What else? What else did I enjoy? Music. I played the lyre, yes, but the radio, oh, that was nice. Master Jean made sure I listened to all the French singers. Humanity truly is wonderful. The gods and the mythical creatures. They are set in stone and hardly ever change. They were made to be eternal. But humans change so much, and I'm glad to at least be half human. I dearly enjoy the inventions humankind have come up with over the centuries. I can't wait to learn all about what's changed. Anything else, Master, would like to know?
What's your favorite memory?
My favorite memory? Now, that's a tough question.
Asterion drinks more of his wine, then rubs his hands against the counter. He sighs, looks to you, then looks back down again at a few times.
Very hard question, but I think I know. There was a master, Sir Bernard. He was the labyrinth's lord for a few decades, and then passed it down to his son, Sir Robert. When Sir Bernard was on his deathbed, his son transferred ownership of the hotel back to him for a day. And the hotel's returning master, Sir Bernard, wrote a sign
As the hotel's returning master,
Bernard wrote and signed a contract, except it was just a letter to me, thanking me for everything. Sir Robert took over again, of course, and he prepared me something too. I helped raise him, you see, and he gathered all the children drawings of me and signed them all as a contract as well. Contracts are everlasting, unless explicitly revoked, so their contracts would last forever. They can't be burned or torn away. Nothing will destroy them. This is my dearest memory, Robert and Bernard's gifts to me. The contracts, they are everlasting, but I know Clement tore away the ledger where we kept them. They must be hidden away somewhere. Eventually I'll find them again, even if it takes me years. After all, I have all the time in the world, don't I?
the Minotaur takes another swig of his wine. He sways left and right, his eyes half closed.
I have another memory, just as sweet. When I was in the underworld, I made friends. One of them gifted me with a statue of a red ox. He was a herder in life. It was fitting, of course. I brought it with me to this place, the only thing I managed to bring. It was supposed to be in my room again, but again, Clement. I was loved. The letters and the statue, I cherish them dearly. But love needs no gift to be remembered.
Asterion looks down again. He holds the wine bottle against his chest.
Is there anything else? Is there something else, Master, would like to know?
I think I'll, end the part here. I'll see you around, everyone.